Carl here from Columbia Water Gardens, and today's DIY episode is brought to you by 805 Beer. When your customer leaves beer in the refrigerator by the pond, on a hot day, you gotta drink it. Today, I'm going to show you how to install a universal lighting system, part number DS2600WB. I love these spotlights, and this is a spotlight that you're going to put up inside of a tree to illuminate the area around your home, your pond, whatever. I love this because it comes with a lifetime warranty from the manufacturer, and it's super easy to install. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to install the 2600WB, stands for Weather Bronze, and we're going to complement it with a 7-watt LED bulb. This 7-watt LED bulb has the equivalent of a 50-watt halogen bulb, and this one here is a 60-degree wide beam spread, and this one's going to give you a 2700K color. So the 2700K color range is going to be slightly a little bit of a dimmer, kind of a more amber light as opposed to a super bright white. In our installation, we're going to be installing these lights as uplights into our trees. And it's important to understand that when you do a professional lighting installation, you want to be able to make sure that these things are going to be up there, they're going to be safe, and they are not going to harm the tree. So I'm going to show you everything that we use to get these guys mounted up high. So you're going to need your light, and you're going to need your bulb. This is a lifetime warranty here on the light fixture, and this bulb here has a 7-year warranty on the bulb. You're going to want to use an electrical outdoor rated box. This one over here is just a single gang box with a 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, and 1/2 inch here. And you'll understand why we've got just the 3 openings here in just a few moments. So we want that. We're also going to want to have a weather rated outdoor blank cover. This makes for a really clean connection between the leads going up to the light and the leads going down to the power source. These red wire nuts are rated for 12 gauge outdoor low voltage cable, and you can connect up to 4 wires per connection. In this particular case, we're just connecting 2. Wire strippers, a Phillips head screwdriver, watertight connectors. This one here is a 1/2 inch. One of the things I love about this guy here is that on the bottom of it, it's got a really nice flat connection right there for our low voltage cable. You're going to see how handy that comes in a minute. You're going to need enough low voltage cable here. This is what's called 12-2, 12 gauge, 2 strand, enough to be able to get down to the ground, out of the tree, and into your connection. And then in this particular case here, to protect our tree from getting harmed by screwing things into the tree, like our box here, we're simply just going to use rubber straps. And we've got a collection of 24-inch rubber straps. You can get them at your local Home Depot. And here's also a 36-inch rubber strap. So these guys here, they come in super handy. And finally, some spray paint. And you're going to see how that comes handy in just a second as well. Let me walk you through the product. When you open up the box for your light, you're going to see that it has a landscape stake. It also has this Allen wrench and a little nut. You'll see what that's for in a moment, and then you're going to see that it has the light. So taking the light out, it's got this really great cover here. So this shade here is going to direct the light away from your point of vision so that when you look towards the light, you don't see the fixture itself. You just see the light that's coming out of it. And coming from the factory, this nut that you use to adjust the angle of your beam comes tight. I'm going to go ahead and straighten that out. Take my Phillips head screwdriver and tighten that down. And we're also going to loosen up this connector right over here. You'll see why in just a minute. Opening up your box, you'll notice that it has some things inside. Inside of it, you've got a plug to plug off the back. You're not going to use this extra plug, and it comes with these 2 tabs here that we're going to use to attach our cables to the box itself. We'll come back to that in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting our plug in. Remember these little guys here? They work as a really nice handy screwdriver just to tighten that down. Nice and firm. We're going to undo our cable. Cable comes through. Remember earlier you saw that I loosened this up. The reason why is so that our fixture can be tightened down inside of our box. It's important to note that you want this adjuster here to come out parallel with the box itself. So I'm going to loosen this up, and I'm just going to keep on adjusting it until it gets to that point where it's nice and snug, but not too snug. There it goes. And we are golden. The next thing we want to do is we want to take our watertight connector. Remember I showed you this guy earlier? The cool thing about this is it has a little rubber gasket on the inside of it. And as you tighten this piece here down, it tightens down this gasket here so the water cannot get in. So we're just going to go ahead and very loosely just kind of get it in there. Take our electrical cable here, run it through. And tighten it down. Once that's tightened down, and see at the bottom, we can kind of tighten that rubber boot down, and you'll see that no matter how hard I pull, this guy here doesn't move. And you have all this extra cable over here, you don't need it. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to cut off a bunch of it here. That gets discarded. Right along this line here, in between the two wires, I just kind of scored it just a little bit here with my wire strippers, just enough for me to be able to pull it apart. Now if you look at the wire strippers, you'll see that there are numbers on the side here, going from 10 to 12 to 14 to 16 to 18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the 12s, give it a little bit of a snug, and pop it right off, and there we go. Low voltage cable is coming in. So you'll notice what I'm doing here is I'm twisting these wires here in a clockwise direction. It's important that you do that because as you put your wire connectors here on, you're also going to be tightening them down in a clockwise direction. Now inside your watertight cover plate over here, you'll also see that it comes with two screws. These two screws are going to be used to line up between the cover plate here, your gasket, and your box. Now when you look at your gasket, you're going to see that there's two sets of holes up here. We're going to be putting the screws through these the bottom hole, not the top hole. Screw goes through the plate, goes in the bottom hole. Bottom screw goes in through the second, and now we're ready to line up. You'll see that there's some lettering at the bottom of this. Just as the touch of professionalism, I just like to line that up at the bottom of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy started. The bottom one, we just give it a couple twists of the screwdriver. The top one, by wiggling the top cover plate back and forth, we can feel where the screw wants to seat. It's important not to over tighten this. If you over tighten it, then you can actually crease this cover plate, and you definitely don't want to do that. So the one last thing to prepare this box ready for installation is these hanging hooks. Each hanging hook is going to go on each side. So what I like to do is I like to put the screw in the hook first, line it up with the hole on the back of the box, and just start tightening that in. You'll notice that these mounting brackets here are going to fit snugly against the recessed head of this screw. You notice that this screw isn't perfectly flat, that this screw actually has a little bit of a recession right there. So that's in there nice and tight. I do not recommend the use of a power drill on this. You want to be able to feel this without stripping the end of it off. Now you're ready to install your bulb. One of the things I really like about these lights is the fact that they've got this double O-ring seal right over here. So from the factory, you're just going to go ahead and remove that, and you'll notice that there is a set screw right over here. And this deeper hole, not the shallow hole here, but this deeper hole here is where that set screw goes. Remember, that comes from right over here with this Allen wrench. Even though these bulbs are LED, you do not really want to go around touching the top of the lens, but I wanted you to get a really good look at how beautiful this bulb is. So you see it's got two pins at the bottom, and those two pins are going to line right up there. Right? So now we've got this hole here for the reset screw, and we have this deeper hole right over here. We want to kind of line them up, but don't line them up perfectly. We want to be pushing and turning against these O-rings as you put it in at the same time. And then you'll be perfectly lined up there. I like to start by putting that screw right into the Allen wrench there. Let the Allen wrench hold it. And now we're in. Perfect. Last thing we want to do is we want to loosen up the tightening screw over here for our cover, because this is going to be mounted against the tree. Because we want the cover to go up against the face of the tree, I'm just going to go ahead and bring this all the way down, hand tighten it, and we're ready to go. It's really simple to pre-assemble these things. Now, last but not least, I like to do a little bit of finishing touches. Remember how earlier I was talking about the can of spray paint? I don't like the fact that this watertight connector here is the silver color that it is. So what I like to do is I just like to touch it up just a little bit. So now, as you see, it looks just like it's just a regular part of the product, just like it came right out of the box. I'm going to set this out of the way here for it to dry. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to talk about is these straps. Now, I'm sure you've seen these straps before, and they're super, super common out there. But let's say that the diameter of the tree is not wide enough for you to be able to stretch this thing to go all the way around the tree, right? And what you can do is you can add an extra length. If you add an extra length, then just do this. Ditch the extra hook. Put the second hook right over here, and now we've extended the reach of our strap. These guys over here, they're going to hook right into these guys here. So you have it here, wrapping around the tree and hooking in, and now you have a tree light that is not going to hurt your tree at all whatsoever. You're not going to be stapling or nailing anything into it to be able to mount it. And the best part about it is as the tree grows, then you just loosen this and let the light go a little bit closer to the ground. Or you can do what we did in this particular case, is just leave yourself a little extra cable. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope this helps you. And one of the reasons why I like to do these do-it-yourself how-to videos is because I know that there are people out there that could definitely do what I just did. If you have any questions at all whatsoever, or if you'd like to order this product from us, give us a phone call at 888-713-7771, or follow the link at the end of the video that takes you directly to the place on my website where you can order direct. So I'm Carl with Columbia Water Gardens, and I'm here to remind you two things. One, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And number two, doing low voltage lighting the right way really, really matters. Happy ponding.